Over the years, Thorpe Park has been split into a number of theme zones, some of these with original themes and others revolving around IPs. And today I'm going to be ranking every single one of them from worst to best. Now, one thing to bear in mind is that I'm being very loose as to what I would call a themed area. For example, I'd count Plaza or Amity Speedway as their own area, as I find they're different enough from surrounding areas to call them that. Anyways, without further ado, let's get into the video. Coming in at number 9 and the lowest ranked on this list, we have Angry Birds Land, and I just don't get this area at all. Angry Birds died years and years ago, yet it lives on in the form of this bright and ugly theme park area. Of course, this all appeals to a family market, but they couldn't even get that right, including in the area one of the most forceful rides in the park, Detonator. Overall, I don't particularly like this themed area at all, and the fact that it splits Amity into two makes it even worse. At number 8 we have the Dockyard, and out of all these areas, this is probably the least themed on the list, which isn't really a bad thing. It lets the two rides, Darren Brown's Ghost Train and The Walking Dead, speak for themselves, and the lift hill of Nemesis Inferno provides a great backdrop. This area was pretty much out of action during 2020, with both the attractions being closed. That is, until they turned it into a fantastic festival plaza, where they hosted both Oktoberfest and Fright Nights. Overall, this is a decent area, but one that could definitely use a little theming. Now at number 7 I've put Old Town, but in all honesty, I actually really like this quiet little area at the back of the park, and the only reason it's low is because of the ride lineup, which consists of a few children's flat rides. I do like the western theme though, the I'm a Score soundtrack is incredible, and they serve the best curly fries in existence there. Also, this area turns into a hive of activity during Fright Nights, where multiple mazes and scare zones are held there, turning it into the exact opposite of an otherwise kid-focused area. At number 6, we have the Saw Plaza, and this is a very small area, but the theming is enough to get it this high. It's located around the back of Lost City, and the only ride included is, of course, Saw the Ride. Theming in the area includes police cars, shipping containers, and a massive abandoned warehouse, but there's so many small details that while some people don't notice, the people who do enjoy them. Of course, you also have Saw as a natural backdrop, with its 100-degree drop going straight under the rotating saw blades, and the Immelman going straight over the path. A great themed area, but the lack of rides included in the area makes me put it this low. At the number 5 spot, I've put Amity Speedway. Now, this themed area is in a similar spot to the Saw Plaza, because the only two rides in the area are Storm in a Teacup, and of course the icon of the park, Stealth. However, this area has such an amazing vibe to it, with the classic music blaring, the WWTP radio announcements playing, and the occasional sound of Stealth launch. The Amity Speedway is such a great area to spend time in, and any area with the park's best coaster is automatically going to get higher on this list, let's be honest. At number 4 we have the Jungle, and this is definitely one of the most immersive areas in the park, despite the generic name. Everywhere you look, there's either highly detailed rock work, trees towering above you, or B&M invert track twisting and turning over the pathways, making you really feel like you're part of the area. This area also extends down to Rumba Rapids, which is also a great ride, and gives some phenomenal views of Stealth, while also providing some refreshing thrills on its own. And this isn't even mentioning the best ride there, Mr. Monkey's Banana Ride. Coming in at number 3, I've put the other half of Amity, Amity Beach. Put simply, the only reason this area is higher than the Speedway is because of how many rides there is on the beach side. There's also a ton of water rides from this area, and you can cool down on Storm Surge, Depth Charge, and of course Tidal Wave without even leaving the area. There's also some great ways to spend your money in this area, with the Thorpe Megastore, the Kebab Place, tons of pop-up games, and even a KFC. However, this area could use improvement, although that improvement is really just removing Storm Surge. But it's a near-perfect family area that provides a great central hub of the park. At number 2, we have Swarm Island, and I'm just going to go out and say that this is by far the best themed area at Thorpe Park, and it really does feel like you're walking through an apocalyptic landscape. Everything is also large scale. It feels like such a big area, even if it only holds one ride, which is of course the Swarm. They also designed the Swarm's layout so well to fly beside the pass, over the pass, and through towering theming elements. If this area held more rides, then I could definitely justify calling this insanely themed area my favourite. But for now, there's one more zone that I prefer, and that zone is number 1, Lost City. Now, this area might not have the best theming on park, nor the best rides, but the general vibe it gives off, as well as that incredible soundtrack, push it all the way to the top of my list. It also is home to a large selection of rides, from the thrilling flats, such as Rush, to a great, record-breaking coaster with Colossus. This 10 inversion coaster towers above the area, and has lots of interaction points with the pathways. Every part of the layout is either extremely visible or twisting upside down over the pathways themselves, and yet somehow, the area is still grown extremely well, with green bushes or trees everywhere you look, and some amazing buildings, especially by Colossus. On top of all this, it's also one of the spots that truly becomes alive during Fright Nights, and at one point it even became home to Bountzilla. Overall, this is a truly amazing area that I really hope stays in this form for as long as possible. And that's the end of the video. If you enjoyed, please consider subscribing and telling me in the comments, as these are what motivate me to create more new content for you guys. We're pretty close to 500 subscribers, and it'd be absolutely amazing if we could get there by the end of the year. Anyways, with that being said, that's me, signing off.